I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Welcome, everybody, to the Hot AF Show. I'm Mike Smith. I appreciate you joining me. This is Season 1, Episode 1. I'm excited to get going. I've been thinking about it for a while, and everything going on in society, and it's like, it's about time for me to, get a platform and run my mouth. This show is going to be hopefully highly entertaining. It'll likely be offensive to some people. I really don't care. I only ask, if you do find value out of the show, that you please like and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Also, please follow me on Instagram and Facebook at Hot AF Show. Let me know if there's any topics you want to discuss. We're going to talk about it all. Primarily focusing on politics and sports and business and guns, self-improvement, mental health, parenting, you name it. Cool shit. That's going to be the platform of this show. If you're easily offended or on board with Nancy Pelosi or Maxine Waters, AOC, or you're offended by the F word or the blow of the wind, then do yourself a favor. Just turn the channel and go listen to something else. You're not going to like me. I really don't give a shit. And but those that do have a sense of humor and personality, really, the people that are open-minded and have their own opinion but are open to influence, that's who this show is mainly geared towards. But I'd love to have the opposing party, the people that completely disagree with me, take a listen and let me know what they feel. Hey, again, I'm open to influence. I'm open to educating myself and learning from the other side and understanding why. And just because you have an opinion doesn't necessarily make you right and the other party wrong, and vice versa. All right, so I'm learning on the job, but let's get started. Topic number 1, Black Lives Matter. My opinion is, yes, there is injustice in the world, a lot of times to the Black community. There's no doubt about it. And unfortunately, the Black Lives Matter organization is a scam. And here's the reason why. If you go to their site, they talk about what they're about. And it's not about simply Black lives mattering. They're anti-family, I guess, in the traditional sense. They're, pushing, they're pro-abortion, pro-homosexuals. That has nothing to do with the issues such as George Floyd. And I guess the last time Black Lives Matter, really got the attention before the election in 2016. The biggest thing that I did my research on this, by the way, and that's what you got to do these days, people. You got to do your own research, not listen to the idiots on the mainstream media and read only the headlines of articles, because it's just so slanted both ways. And look, I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat. I vote, and I vote Republican because I'm anti pretty much everything a liberal believes. But the Republicans are idiots just as well. So you got to take the lesser of two evils. So I guess I'd consider myself a common sense conservative libertarian mutt. But getting back, by the way, I'm like highly ADD, so I'm going to jump around a lot. But I said it. I'm ADD. Yep, there's my label. But I'm okay with that because it gives me the ability to say, hey, fuck you. But anyway, so if you go to the Black Lives Matter website and you click donate, it goes to Act Blue. Act Blue is a Democratic fundraising platform. Literally, look it up. So you're telling me that the Democratic Party owns Black Lives Matter? I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. Freaking Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer and, Joe Biden spending damn near 50 years in office to just wait for his moment to make real change in America. And if you don't vote for him, you ain't black, is what he says, right? So I think it's disgusting that the Democratic Party is exploiting the death of George Floyd to get donations for their party, their candidates, Joe freaking Biden. I mean, this is why they're a scam, people. I wonder what they use to define black. I mean, their website with this anti-family, pro-abortion, pro-homosexuals, LGBTQ, whatever, that has nothing to do with the issues that they're marching, protesting, looting, rioting, and all that kind of stuff for. Okay, so how do you define black? I mean, is Elizabeth Warren, is she cool? I mean, her 0.000126, whatever the hell, Indian blood, but tomorrow she might identify as black. I don't know. Maybe if Elizabeth Warren does, that they'll probably accept her. Just like that. What was her name? Rachel something. The white lady that identified as black, but she was the NAACP chapter president. I mean, really? Oh, so their site talks about the affirmation of black, queer, and trans folks, disabled folks, undocumented folks, folks with records, women, and all black lives along the gender spectrum. No reference to men there, but what's my opinion worth? To them, nothing. We are working for a world where black lives are no longer systematically targeted for demise. I mean, God, really? Quit being the victim. Is Michael Jordan a victim of being systematically targeted for demise? Is Shaquille O'Neal or Eddie Murphy or Magic Johnson, LeBron James, Kevin Hart? Don't even get me started with the Black Lives Matter Lord and Savior Barack Obama that did nothing for them. Oprah Winfrey, Tiger Woods, Serena Williams, Beyonce, Will Smith. I mean, I could keep going on and on. Are they victims of demise? This is KKK stuff. Is Colin Kaepernick the victim of demise? I mean, well, depends on how you look at it. He identifies as black because all of his white privilege side isn't privileged, but is he a victim of demise? Well, he's not playing right now because, number one, he wasn't that good. Number two, he's working for a private organization and he's running his mouth, not backing it up with anything, wearing pig socks and kneels for the national anthem, to protest a country that he's so much a victim of demise in while he collects $1 million game check. Where in comparison, Pat Tillman turns down a multi-million-dollar contract to go join the army, become a ranger, fight for our country, and die? Or what about David Goggins, a guy that grew up getting the shit kicked out of him every day, having racial profiling, yet he overcomes a crazy obesity and heart defect, becomes a Navy SEAL, graduates Ranger School as honor man, and now runs ultra marathons and holds the world record for pull-ups. Just a complete badass all the way around. Is he a victim of demise? Is there a systematic target on his back? If there is, it hasn't affected him. It hasn't affected Michael Jordan and LeBron James and Magic Johnson and Serena Williams and Oprah Winfrey and Will Smith and Kevin Hart and Dave Chappelle. Because guess what? They overcome. Everyone that succeeds in life overcomes challenges and discrimination. I mean, look at females back in the day. They don't let society tell them what they're going to do. They tell society what they're going to do, and they do it by putting in the work. Now, do some people have it a little bit easier? Sure, that's always going to be the case. There's always going to be someone faster, stronger, smarter, more athletic, richer, better looking. There's always going to be people that are better than what you are. So it's up to you to be your own person and succeed. It's not up to the society or the government. But it's so damn easy to be a victim today and blame history. I mean, hell, you blame the government for your problems. Really? I mean, the government doesn't cause you problems. You cause your own problems. You don't want problems with the police? Stop breaking the law. Now, I'm not talking about when a black person is pulled over and roughed up or looked at funny or this or that because of the color of their skin. That's bullshit. That's wrong. That happens, and it needs to stop. But I'll tell you, if you're respectful, I'll guarantee you that the potential issues that happen if you're pulled over are probably go down drastically if you're just respectful. So shut the hell up with your being systematically targeted for demise argument. Everyone wants a free lunch these days, and you're not going to get a free lunch in America. Oh, wait, actually you can, and a lot of people do it. It's called taking advantage of the system and then getting used to it and wanting to be a career, systematic welfare recipient or leech from the government to get your free lunch and then get pissed off when your lunch is cold or your lunch is a bologna sandwich and not a cheeseburger. But I tell you what, you have full opportunity to go out and not only have a lunch, but have a luxurious lunch with steak and potatoes and freaking 1942 Petrus wine. If you work for it, and if you fall down, you get back up. But no, it's so easy to be a victim. It's so easy to want a handout. It's so easy to blame someone else, but no one's willing to put the work in and overcome anything that is a challenge for what they do or what they're trying to get. All right, where's the Advil? Anyway, getting back to Colin Kaepernick, you think an owner of a team, the person that signs your checks, wants you to be the face of their organization when you kind of suck anyway? No, there's better talent out there, dude, with less problems, believe me. Unreal. Here's another one. Quote, "We know the police don't keep us safe." Okay. Why don't you ask Lil Wayne about that? They saved his life. All the black cops. Back when he was little, if you haven't heard the story, he was shot. Black cops go through the door after they were called, going back to get drug dealer or whatever it was. And here he is shot, dying on the ground. Who stops? A white cop. Saves his life. I guess those police didn't keep him safe, did they? Yeah, there's bad apples in the police force, but how about you go join the team and try to make a difference? Be a good example inside of a police force and see where they're coming from. I support the guys in blue. Do I support the bad crooks? No, I don't support any crooks. I don't support the looters. I don't support the dirty cops. I don't support the dirty politicians, a lot of them. And, I'm for full equality, regardless of the color of your skin or your gender. By the way, there's only two. Okay, continuing on. We foster a queer affirming network. When we gather, we do so with the intention of freeing ourselves from the tight grip of, I don't even know how to say this word, heteronormative thinking. Never heard of that word. Or rather, here we go, the belief that all in the world are heterosexual unless he, or they disclose otherwise. Okay, what in the ever-living hell? You know what, you guys, Black Lives Matter, you guys have a shitty name. Like, all these things that you're talking about, that's fine. That's your freedom. You know, you've got the right to do that. I've got no problem with that. I've got no problem with the LGBTQ community. I've got no problem with the Black community. I've got no problem with any ethnicity. Because I don't see color like I'm labeled just because they're labeling me as I'm a white guy, so therefore I'm racist. That is just, as one of my influences, Neil Bortz, used to say, just a bunch of horse squeeze. Man, what a legend Neil Bortz was in talk radio. Miss you, Neil. Come visit. I'm just like an hour and a half north. Drinks on me. So yeah, I don't see color. You know what I see? I see freedom when you live in America. And if you hate it so much, GTFO. But anyway, what are these queer affirming networks? And they reference, like, such hypocrites. They reference, we make our spaces family friendly. But on one of their other tabs, it talks about being anti-family. I mean, hell, 3 of their co-founders are self-described Marxists. So it's just a shame. I mean, they have an opportunity to bring so much positive influence into the younger generation, and they're not doing it. The looting and the rioting and the intimidation and downright terrorism is going to just make it worse. You could also argue that the Jesse Jacksons and Al Sharptons of the world would be out of business if racism from their community went away. I mean, think about that one. They'd be out of a job, out of their private jet flying, no tax paying, gold Rolex wearing, pulpit, hate speech spewing job if what they're preaching about went away. Am I wrong? I mean, look at these leaders in the Black Lives Matter / social justice, anti-racism community. You've got Marxists and Al Sharpton and Jesse Jackson and Maxine Waters that just spew hate. Imagine where we could be if the message and the actions weren't hate. It wasn't justified looting and complete destruction of cities and businesses. That's taking you back, people. It's complete ignorance. They want to resegregate the country, and that's not what we're about. So I'd love to have someone in the Black community like, hey, help me understand. Am I totally missing the ball here on Black Lives Matter and their movement and how they're not the puppets for the Democrat Party? I would love to have that conversation because I'm open to influence. I want to know what am I missing here? What can I do? What message can I share that is going to be meaningful and not hate speech and fighting and looting? I sure would like to know. I'll never understand fully what it's like to be in a Black person's shoes because I've never lived a day in my life as a Black person, and they'll never live a day of their life as a white person. But how great would that be if our kids and grandchildren could live like that in a society where there is no color of what skin color you were born with. How about we communicate? And rather than fight, let's communicate and make an impact on living up to Martin Luther King. The whole people shouldn't be judged by the color of their skin. I'm all for that. But that's not going to happen with the continued looting and violence and terrorism and their own racial vomiting. It's only going to happen if it comes from within. And logical parties having open-minded conversations and trying to understand perspective, putting together a plan and executing that plan, and just work the baby steps. And then hopefully the younger generation is that much closer to this world being one human race and where there's no discrimination. I saw something the other day, like it resonated. Lives matter. Hey, I didn't say all, so all you assholes can't get offended that I said all lives. No, lives matter. And it read, if you need a color in front of those two words, you're a racist. We're humans. I'm on board with that. But let's have a dialogue. Let's have a communication. Let's have people in the black community that aren't Marxist and aren't pro-segregation and labeling and judging people by the color of their skin. And people in the white community that aren't freaking racists. Let's work together. Let's figure out a plan and execute it on how we can make society better. And it starts from being a good example to our children. Look at you turn the TV on and we're in this quarantine crap and my son will watch Inside Edition and the news and stuff. And, I'm not going to take it away from him, but what's he being exposed to in the world? And what kind of example is that leading him? Fortunately, he lives in a household where we don't tolerate that stuff. But look at these little kids that mom and dad are out at a protest and they're with them and there's a fight, there's violence, there's looting. Let's throw a brick through the window of a store and take all their stuff because we're victims and that's ours. And we deserve reparations for stuff that our ancestors went through, and we don't even know any idea about who they are. Even if we did, am I supposed to be responsible for what my ancestors that I'd never met, never knew of, still don't know anything about? If they did something, am I responsible for that? Is a child today going to be responsible for what their great whatever grandfather, grandmother possibly could have done? I have no idea if my ancestors were slave owners. And then you sit there and you put a label of $350,000 per individual for reparations. How disgusting is that shit? You're putting a dollar amount on slavery and what happened to your ancestors? That's so fucked up. No amount of money can justify slavery. Well, I take that back. I'll be someone's slave for the right dollar. That's a joke, people. That is a joke. I warned you. Anyway, so yeah, $350,000, and all of a sudden, hey, now it's cool. All right, we're good. No more looting. No more demanding people at Stone Mountain, Georgia, to pay him, and with AR rifles that are jammed. Great, man. Good luck in that fight. But it's just flat out just asinine reparations. How about, okay, if you want to keep the ball on the same playing field, when I say, hey, why am I responsible for what happened in the past that I wasn't even a thought yet, right? How about this one? White people should be paid liberation compensation. How much is a liberation payment worth? Like, that is so bad. It's the same thought process as reparations for slavery. I love the football coaches and the good teachers and the good police and the overall the good influencers out there that understand this. And I wish there was more of them, educating people on not judging people by the color of their skin, but by their character. I mean, can anyone argue against that? Maybe Black Lives Matter will. So, look, in conclusion, I wish there was a more positive movement for equality and justice. I really welcome that. I'd love to see it, because I have a belief that all men and women, because there's only two genders, are created equal. And I don't see how that is how that can be defeated in an argument. So I challenge you people that are against my opinion, let me know about it. I'm open to influence, but from what I feel right now, logically, for the past 26 minutes or so, is legit. So bring it. That's it for episode 1 of the first season of the Hot AF show. I really appreciate you listening if you listened this far. And it would be really great if you did find any value, any entertainment, to give me a review in whatever platform, iTunes, YouTube, or wherever. Subscribe to my show and tell your friends that you think might like this show. Or here you go. Tell your friends, especially the ones that you don't think would like the show. And don't forget, Hot AF Show on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. We'll talk to you next time. And just remember, lives matter. Because if you need a color in front of those two words, you're a racist. We're all humans. God bless America. We'll talk to you soon.